Hey, everybody, welcome to season two of kind of a podcast conversation that me and my brother have with each other about different topics, sometimes filmmaking, sometimes telling stories. Really, it's just kind of whatever, it's kind of random. But we just started, this is the first episode of
First
season
episode,
two,
season two.
and we have some interesting conversations that's going to be happening this season. And so we hope that you enjoy it. And if you haven't seen any of last season, you're welcome to go back and look at those. But so what did you do this summer?
This summer, not much.
Yeah,
um, I don't know. Kind of here, spending time at the beach right now.
yeah,
Just
yeah. By the way, I put a video right before I moved, but me and my wife are now in the Virginia Beach area, no longer in Columbia, South Carolina, and this is a little corner of our home. And so yeah, we're Joshua came up for the week, and we're
that's
recording
also
this.
kind of why we
Yeah,
kind of took a little hiatus on this
yeah,
show.
yeah. It's good to break things up into seasons so you have a break. It's not just indefinitely going, but also it's we needed to because I was moving and everything, and so now so Josh was up here, and we're able to talk to each other. So a little bit of what I wanted to talk about today is frustrations with video creation or creatives, frustrations with making videos or short films, or what people's perspectives are. Because as people who do video, we value a lot of the creative process and we value what we work on. We usually will spend a whole lot of hours recording and editing, and there's a lot of work that's put into creating video, even for this channel. And so in the regular world, we come across people who do value video creation, but there's a really large, especially getting started, there's a really large amount of people who really have skewed perspectives of what it takes to make a video and the skill behind it. And so there's a lot of frustrations that come into it. They just don't respect the process, really. And so, have you experienced some of that with
Um,
yourself?
Not really so much of people who are skewed per se, but I know through on my big idea of things. The first thing that comes to my mind is through like social media, especially something TikTok. People who they ask me, "How do you do TikTok?" And this is my response when people ask me that. I say, "You may think I'm a snob, but I think TikTok is a very basic and very childish form of making videos." And I know they're supposed to be just comedy things, but I, in my, because I'm a filmmaker and we like good quality like filmmaking, me
That's one of
watching
the things that,
TikToks, they just frustrate me. Like,
yeah.
um, because they're just cheesy and they're
There's something weird with TikToks. It says something about people if they look at TikTok as an actual form of creative entertainment.
mm,
Um, and so it even plays into a little bit about the conversation, the reason we're having a conversation here. Um, I will say there's been a number of experiences that there's always frustrations in creating video with other creatives, but in people that don't create video, that hire you out or something of that nature, there's been a frustration where I've seen a lot of people who really undervalue it. So they're willing to pay you as least amount as possible.
mm,
They're going to um, if they can get around paying you what they signed a contract. If you did sign a contract, they would do that. If there's any chance of just trying to devalue your work at all, I've come across a lot of people and have worked for people that have legitimately just undervalued my work a lot.
mm,
And it's hard because in today's world where there's always video media, it's hard to say, okay, yeah, there's actually value in video creation. There's actually value in that, and being able to have that skill, there's actually something to that. But to be honest, I've seen a lot of people, more than the opposite, that are constantly trying to undersell you and devalue it and say that it's not that great of a skill, but I just don't have time to do it myself. You know what I mean?
mm.
And so So what are your thoughts on some of that, I guess?
Some of my thoughts. I haven't worked so much as like a freelancer. I've never done as much freelancing as you done for working for companies per se, but that is part of my mindset. And when I
Mhm.
watch like a film, I am a collector. I love to collect the DVD copies, the Blu-ray copies, rather than I dislike digital copies for this reason, because I believe that when people watch it digitally or on Netflix or through like streaming services, they watch it one time and they're like, "Oh, it was a good movie," but
Mhm.
then a year later, a couple months later, they totally forgot because they watched it one time and they left. They forgot about it.
Yeah.
So that movie that someone spent years or like a year at least
A
to
lot of hard
make,
work.
they have forgotten about. And yes, they watched and enjoyed it for like a couple hours, 2 hours of their time, but it's not like keeping it and remembering that like the art that has been created.
Mhm.
So, um, in my opinion, I've always, and I've expressed this to you
Yeah.
before, I'm not a fan of streaming services for that reason.
Yeah,
Um,
streaming services are definitely convenient, but there is something that devalues the hard work that's put into it because it's so accessible. It's so
yeah,
I don't know, it's just a culture of treating films like you would treat a YouTube video. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
and that
Like
is,
there's minimal work that's put into a YouTube video, or at least there's people that put high quality videos out.
mm,
We have some videos that we spend a lot of time doing on this channel, but the overwhelming majority is people just throwing stuff together,
yeah,
and because of the streaming services, a lot of times full length films, big productions, big stories are treated that way.
and
Yeah.
that's almost just how culture is treating entertainment in general these
Mm-hmm.
days. Like the algorithms and things for YouTube, it's more profitable to just spit something out, don't take time on it, and then move on to the next thing, because people are making a lot more money that way too,
Yeah.
rather than actually making good quality content.
Yeah. Do you think that, playing a little bit from the other perspective, do you think that culture and entertainment has shifted its perspective to something like that that makes it easier to devalue it?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like, um, because of how we view things through our phone, through um, just how we consume it these days,
Mm-hmm.
we don't actually like. I mean, if you think about it, like back in the day, when did people really consume like content that was entertainment? First, it was the radio, then it was the TV. But usually, like for families back in the day, they only had one radio, and
Yeah.
that family would gather around the radio, and then they would gather around the TV to watch their programs at night. And today, we're streaming it through our phones, so it's accessible so much that we don't value it as much,
Mm-hmm.
and so we're losing that art form only because of how people are consuming it.
Yeah.
They're not realizing on the consumer end of things, um, everything that goes through to make something and how much value it is.
Yeah. That makes sense. I guess one of the things that I've seen, kind of what you talked about there, is people used to value being entertained so much
Mm.
because it was usually an anomaly in their life. They usually are entertaining themselves with other things. They have to, if they're bored, they'll read a book or something of that nature, or they would go to, like, even in the olden days, being entertained was like going to a show, a play, you know?
Yeah.
And now people take it for people take it for granted because this culture allows them to take it for granted. So they become super critical of any kind of work that's done, and they also just they don't respect it. Like, imagine if entertainment and culture would just automatically go away. Like, people would freak out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, if TV, if films, if TV shows, if all of this entertainment just went away and there's only thing like left with YouTube or something, people would watch a heck of a lot of YouTube, but honestly, the high quality entertainment
This is becoming a rant.
I'm just
at
saying
this point.
the high quality entertainment is taken for granted. People want to be entertained and they don't appreciate it anymore.
Okay,
And
well,
it's the same. It goes the same mindset goes into creating video for people and companies and whatnot, because honestly, they're not willing to pay someone with a skill to create high quality video to do it. And if they pay them, they're trying to undersell them. Like I said, there's people that do respect it, but there's a heck of a lot of people who don't. You know.
okay, well, then let's kind of transition so it's not so much like a rant. And do you have any ideas on how we can change that to get more, have entertainment become more of an art form in today, and people enjoy it more,
Yeah.
and consume it?
Before we do that, let's take a quick break and talk about just do a quick advertisement for our YouTube channel.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. We wanted to take this time to take a small break, but also to let you know kind of what we have on this YouTube channel. We have our film Dying of the Leaves. We've talked about it a lot on this show, our experience about it. It's actually now available right here on this channel.
Mm-hmm.
It's Dying of the Leaves short film. Is that what it's labeled?
It's a short film, but it's 52 minutes.
Yeah, 52 minutes. We also have a couple interviews we put up there with one of our main actors, Paul Smart,
Mm-hmm.
and then the director Joseph. That Status Effect.
No, Justin Marlowe and Zach Brackett brought us into their studio and they interviewed us, and so they were kind of hosting the interview, but yeah, it was just me and Paul and them two.
So that's out now if you want to go check that out. That's our latest film we've done, and
yeah, it was we've talked a lot on this last season of this kind of conversation show that we have. We talked a lot about the making of that, and we would touch on it. There's been a few behind the scenes stuff that we put up on this channel, but honestly, this project was something that we took a lot of time and worked on.
Yep.
A lot of time, like over a year of work was put into this short film, and because of lack of resources, it was not Hollywood style grand awesome video, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or awesome film. But it is something that we really worked hard to put a lot of quality and effort into. And so there was a while we didn't put it on, we didn't put it online, and we were just selling DVDs.
Yeah.
And we decided that we wanted to give it to you guys to just enjoy. And so far we actually had a pretty good amount of you guys watch it.
Yeah.
But if you haven't watched it yet, go ahead and take a look at it. And if you know someone who hasn't watched it that are really into, independent films and stuff, go share it with them. Like, send it to them, see if they enjoy it. It's something we spend a lot of time doing, and we're going to continue working on big projects like that in the future. But as of right now, it's free on YouTube, so we just wanted to put it up there for you guys to enjoy.
Okay. And welcome back. That was just us talking about our channel a little bit. So, getting back into this talk, people are just entertainment in general is becoming not as viewed as like an art, and they're not taking it as value. Now let's get into that. But on the other side, is there any ideas on what we can do? Suggest to people how to just enjoy this form of art. More.
Obviously, something that you talked about a second ago is if people themselves choose to value things.
Yeah.
So it's all about mindset. If you choose to be an addict and a culture hog, and you're just going to literally be on your phone, everything you watch is on your phone, and you're going to consume as much YouTube, consume as much Netflix or Hulu or HBO, whatever you watch, maybe all of them, and social media and stuff. If you're just going to be that person, then you're making a decision to not value the entertainment. You're taking it for granted. So I'm not saying that entertainment's going to go away anytime soon, because there's a lot of money in it. But at the same time, you yourself are making a choice to not value it. And you're welcome to make that choice if you want, But if you decide to do something that's a little bit more unique, like we're going to watch one movie, you're not going to like binge watch a show or something. We're going to watch one movie as a group,
enjoy that
enjoy
film.
that film in the living room, have some people over and watch that movie. You know what I mean? That's a way where you can actually hang out with people, grow friendships, but also value and bring that value to the entertainment, to the art that was created for you to enjoy. And it's a way that honestly people like us dream of having our content viewed. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, it's great that we can get our stuff out there that you guys can watch it. But at the same time, I think something that's very satisfying to see or to hear someone say is that they like actually sat down with a group of people and watched it together in their living room, you know, and they were dedicated to watching it instead of just casually watching like 10 minutes and then going away, you know.
Yeah.
What are some thoughts that you have?
Well, the same thing what you're saying, and I mentioned this earlier about um, I like to actually have a physical copy.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know, not going off from film a little bit, but I know today it's cool. It's kind of the hip thing to collect vinyls, to collect records.
Yeah.
That's an old form of entertainment because that's music. It's not film, but um, I think that in today it's kind of cool. So a lot of people are doing it, not so much for actually the art, but I like that people are bringing that form back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's not dying, and maybe streaming services will. I'm not saying that they'll die, but maybe it'll get more of going back to the old way
Yeah.
of doing things. So that's actually enjoying it more than just like streaming it.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I kind of lost my train of thought.
That's
I was
okay.
talking about having movies. I like to buy movies
Yeah.
and collect them because I like to keep them. But
Yeah, Blu-ray was something you like hard copies. Blu-ray was something that I feel like jumped out of nowhere and was consumed really quickly, and then it's
Yeah.
fallen to the side a bit.
Yeah.
People don't really have hard copy collections anymore that much that I see.
They don't.
And even if they have them, they don't watch them. You know, and and so Blu-ray was something that was like super high quality video, super high quality
I
entertainment.
mean,
that
but now you can stream
yeah, that
4K,
that same quality. And
same
so
quality.
there was a thought that I was having when you're talking about some good things that's come out of culture and what it's done. So I don't want to completely demonize it because there are some benefits to it.
Mm.
It used to be when people really valued it, there was very few jobs in the industry, and it was a lot of money being poured into one specific thing. And now that there's a lot of there's positives and negatives to it. One is more companies like Netflix creates more content, which means they have to hire more people to create it, creates more jobs. A downside is two things. One, entertainment gets seen a lot less because there's so much of it. Not as many people are going to see work that people have put into creating something that's good. And then the other thing is, unless you're big business, unless you already have an established industry, it's really hard to grow, you know, because there's so much content being put out there. Unless you can match that industry,
Mm.
then you're not going to be seen as on the same level of them as
Mm.
them. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be seen as a joke, pretty much. And because of that, it discourages people from being entrepreneur minded in this industry, which is something that we try to do. You know,
Yeah.
it's something that we're building this company on. We want to be an entertainment company. We don't want to just piggyback off of someone else's industry. Like, we're trying to start something that's new and fresh and something that people haven't thought of before in the entertainment industry, not just with what we're creating, but also what it is that how we run the business, how we run our creativity and all the details there, and just the perspective of entertainment and excellence and whatnot. So that's something that that is positives and negatives to it. It creates more jobs. It helps culture,
Mm.
but at the same time, it devalues it. And
Yeah.
so we're kind of left with a conundrum. Until people personally choose to value it, it's not it's not going to change. It's probably going to keep getting worse.
Yeah. So let us know what you think. Comment down below on this video. What do you think is the negatives that are coming more, maybe? And then also, what do you think is still positive about
Yeah.
entertainment?
Yeah, if you think we could, as a culture, turn this thing around, how do you think we would do that? And also, if you completely disagree, tell us why you disagree and why today's entertainment is superior to what it was, 20 or 30 years ago. So,
Yep.
anyway,
So thanks for watching, and subscribe to this channel.
yeah.